Alright, guys, real quick. I know I haven't been on or uploaded anything recently. College is back in full swing, so my schedule's like really tight, and I'm only gonna be able to upload stuff like every 2 or 3 weeks or so. So I will still be trying to make content, but it's gonna be significantly less frequent, just because of me being busy with life. IRL always comes first. So anyway, today I want to talk about um, what I think is the biggest problem with Terra Console at the moment. Now, Terra Console has several issues. It does have some bugs, which I think are bearable, and other issues like class balance, and some people argue lack of engaging events. But in my opinion, those things could be fixed if the biggest problem, in my opinion, wasn't a thing. Like, I feel like this has to be addressed before those problems can be addressed. And that is the fact that Terra's player base is undoubtedly, and unfortunately, I must admit, dwindling. Um, I like Terra, you know, but in order to like accurately represent the game and be like an honest person, I have to, acknowledge Terra's shortcomings. And in my opinion, its biggest shortcoming at the moment is the lack of player base. Now, over time, I've mainly noticed, skilled players leaving, which the which the player base overall has diminished significantly from what it used to be. But what I'm noticing particularly is that a lot of the more skilled players are starting to disappear. And the problem is like it's starting to reach a point to where the skill gap between newer players or average casual players is growing so big to the point that within if the things keep on going the way they're going, I think within a certain amount of time, I think that there will literally be class knowledge that just becomes completely lost, which could kind of tie into the issues of class balancing. But that's not what this video is about today, so we're going to kind of ignore that. But there's skilled players are leaving at a phenomenal rate, and there's nowhere near as many people coming up the ranks. Um, New people are joining and starting the game. Like that's definitely a thing. If you walk into the some of the starting area towns, there's people there, especially in the evenings. When everybody's off work, there's definitely new players, like low level people running around. But somewhere between like the lower levels of like 25 to 65, the vast majority of people fall off. The vast majority of people never make it to 65. I think a lot of that has to do with the leveling process of Terra being fairly boring, I will admit. Which is a shame because the game really doesn't even start till you hit 65. Like, you haven't even really played the game until you reach level 65. So it's kind of like, I like to view it as kind of a gatekeeper almost. Like, people that really want to give the game a try will make it to 65. Um, and that can go both ways. People might stick around if they got to actually experience the game right off the bat. But that's neither here nor there because that's definitely not going to change. Um, Once people hit 60, so by the time you look at the level 65 pool of people, it's already significantly lower than looking at level 0 through 25. There's a lot more people at 0 through 25 than there are at 65. And then from level 65, again, you notice me mentioning that level 65 is where the game truly starts. There's a significant decrease in when looking at brand new level 65 players versus players that I would call experienced that are in the end game dungeons that are clearing the hardest content and have exceptional amounts of skill. There's a significant fall off from brand new 65s to hardcore experienced players as well. So there's just so little people that are coming up the ranks. And I would assume, and this is my speculation, because I would love to hear anybody that's given the game a try and kind of like decided to be done with it before they actually reached any significant like point in the game. Like if you didn't make it to end game or you didn't make it to 65 before you quit the game, I would love to hear your stories. That way we can kind of try and see what the issues might be if there are additional issues. But what I would speculate as being the problem for most of the people that give up on the game is the lack of people. And, some of you might be asking, well, how does the solution to the lack of people suffer from it? You know, and the way Tera is set up for like in game, when you're hit level 65, you start working your way through meaningful dungeons and stuff. Um, and you even run into this problem some in the lower levels. Is like people have a hard time finding other people to run with. If you don't have a group to run a dungeon with, if you don't have people to clear a dungeon, you can't make any progress, because that's how you make the progress in Terra, is clearing dungeons, getting resources, upgrading and moving on. So if you can't find the people to do that, you're just stuck. And you're stuck there waiting forever until you find people. And the waiting gets old. People feel like they could be productive in this time. Waiting is boring. They could be playing something else. Perfectly understandable. So if you don't have like friends with you that you can invite and work together with, then you're left at the mercy of the population. Are there people there doing the same stuff you are that you can work together with to progress? And the problem is, no, there's not. There's really not anymore. Unless you are an outstanding social butterfly at the lower levels and you convince some people to join you on your journey all the way up to 65, and you make some new friends that clear dungeons with you, without making friends or having friends with you, it's almost impossible to progress in this game. And that's because the way it's designed. It's designed to have a player base, or a massive player base. Without a massive player base, being able to progress becomes significantly harder. And it's gotten to the point where, for lower people to progress, it's almost impossible unless you have friends to play with, you know. Um, and I think this topic in this video is a perfect time for me to kind of do a shameless plug and include a Discord link for a Discord channel that I made for a guild that I have in the game. Now, I'm not playing Tera as much as I used to, like I said, because of college, like I announced at the start. But, I've played Tera console since it released on the consoles. I have several friends that, while they might not play as much either, we have that knowledge to offer. So even if we're not playing, we could guide new players through, kind of help them out, give them some tips, and hopefully my real goal is hoping that you guys will kind of come together, and like y'all will meet each other in the Discord, and then you work together, and we kind of work together to improve the community, improve each other, and ultimately improve the community. And then from there we can work on tackling Terra's other issues. But we can't work on those until we have, a community that can work together and clear content with, and, put our heads together. So I'm going to be linking my Discord channel link to this video's description, and we'll see who bites. If nobody bites, don't matter to me, because I don't get to play that much anymore. I do still play. It's just not as much. It's not like every day. I might be on here and there. Definitely more. I'm definitely on like more on the weekends. Typical like work stuff. A lot of it has to do with my schedule being inconsistent. But anyway, I think I'm just gonna leave it there for now, and I'll see you guys next time.